Aloha and welcome to Capital Connection. I'm Tom Blackburn Rodriguez, your moderator, and our host is Senator Angus McKelvey. Our guests today are Jade Butay, Director for the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations, West Maui businessman Javier Barberi, and Nahalio Maui Affordable Housing Executive Director Cassandra Abdul. And now your host of Capital Connection, Senator Angus McKelvey. Aloha,
Hey,
Angus.
aloha, everybody. Aloha, Tom. Aloha, everybody. Thanks for tuning in this morning. And we appreciate you being here listening.
Well, I know you've been really busy. There's a lot going on. Do you have any update you want to give us just briefly?
I could probably spend the whole hour not only giving updates but recanting yet the daily craziness that occurs. But the good news is, because we're treating it like a war room situation, if you will, we were able to triage through them. And one of our guests, coming up, the Director Butay, we had an issue on being able to get his people out to assist, but we're glad we got that fixed. And we'll touch upon what they're going to be doing when we interview them. But that was just one of the things. We managed to triage some backpacks and flasks. A lot of the evacuees, when they were moved from the centers to the hotels, that was the number one need. They had like plastic shopping bags or, towels to hold stuff in. And so we managed to round up a bunch of backpacks and water flasks in order to transition to water buffaloes at the hubs and be able to stop using plastic bottles. And so we arranged the delivery of that to the hotels and the hubs. That was just one of the many things. And looking also at what the status is of the Coast Guard, captain of the port designation for Lahaina Harbor and Mala Ramp, as well as to try to find out what the long-range plans are for the removal and cleaning of all of the hazardous waste that now exists all throughout Lahaina town.
They're talking about spraying some kind of a pink glue on the surface to make sure it doesn't run off into the ocean. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, they've already installed a thing called, I can't remember the name, but they're storm drain guards. They're like yellow around the storm drains. So when rain comes, you don't have all that toxic ash going in it. Because if all that ends up in the ocean, that reef is dead forever. All the reefs, pretty much, all in front of Lahaina. And probably there's some other impacts as well. So that's been done. They're going to spray it with a thing to try to get it to not run off. But obviously, the efficacy of that, I don't know about, but hopefully it works as advertised.
Well, as we wait for the director to call in, and at about 7:08, I know that you are concerned about some of the information going out about different aid that's available. And I thought it would be good now to mention that the offices of Representative Jill Takuda and U.S. Senator Mazie Hirono will hold a federal resource fair for constituents on Maui impacted by the fires. The resource fair will take place from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Lahaina Civic Center Gymnasium. That's this Saturday. A number of agencies are participating, including FEMA, and there are a lot of FEMA questions. So if people do have questions on FEMA, housing, Social Security, etc., aid for small businesses, they may want to go to that resource center, meet the resource fair at 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Lahaina Civic Center Gymnasium and talk directly with representatives from FEMA and other agencies. And now I do believe we have our guest calling in. Aloha. Are you there? And
yes.
Jade, are you there?
I am.
All right. I'm going to turn you over to our host, Senator Angus McKelvey.
Aloha, Director. Thank you for joining us on the show today. We really appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Senator McKelvey, for having me, and most importantly, for all that you're doing for your constituents. I know it's been a difficult and traumatic time for Maui. You certainly have done all you can, and I'm not alone for in being grateful for the work you are doing, because when one of us gets hurt, we all hurt. So keep doing what you're doing.
Well, I really appreciate the comments, Director. It's just like the reflex, right? Your family, my extended family, my constituents are in trouble. You just act, and you do whatever you need to do, right? And that's why I appreciate what you've been doing as a director, because obviously getting aid or some kind of assistance to people is critical. And you've been working hard with the governor and chief of staff and others on a thing called disaster unemployment assistance, or DUA. But before we get into that, a lot of people probably don't even know what your department is or does generally. So what is the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations, and why is your department the one overseeing this kind of assistance during the disaster?
Senator, the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations, we administer programs designed to increase the economic security, physical and economic well-being and productivity of workers, and to achieve good labor management relations, including the administration of workers' compensation, employment security, apprenticeship training, wage and hour, and industrial relation laws. So basically, our charge is to take care of people. Our wage standards division, make sure that workers are paid fairly and timely. Our HIOSH, occupational safety and health, they want to make sure that they're safe and healthy workplace so workers can return home safely to their families. And, if they're hurt at work or sick or disabled outside of the job, they have workers' comp or temporary disability or TDI benefits, as well as prepaid health care, which is administered by our Disability Compensation Division. And if workers lose the job through no fault of their own, there's unemployment insurance benefits to put food on the table, keep a roof over their heads, and clothes on their back. And if they lose a job or want a more rewarding career, we have a job matching or training from our Workforce Development Division.
Do you think that's why your department was chosen to be the entity to develop an assistance program rather than, say, Department of Human Services, which is normally where a lot of the benefit programs lie?
Well, financial is also part of, public safety and health, so because as people, still need money to buy food, groceries, and other essential supplies. So because we have the unemployment insurance, we're trying to make it as easy as possible to file for unemployment insurance. August 12th.
No, definitely, and that's the way that happened during the pandemic. So it appears you guys are modeling it after. And so speaking of modeling, you have now unveiled, like I said earlier, Governor, thank him for you working to unveil this disaster unemployment, assistance DUA. What exactly is DUA, and how generally would, say, a person who perhaps, had a condo burn up, would come in, and how would I, as just a regular person, how would I go, what would the process be for me to receive this
I'm glad
DUA
you mentioned,
assistance?
Senator. Tomorrow, we'll announce the availability of the disaster unemployment assistance, which will provide desperately needed benefits to individuals not eligible for regular unemployment insurance benefits. And we're gonna have people at the Hyatt Regency Kaanapali. They're gonna be taking at the Hyatt. They're gonna be taking claims. And basically, eligible individuals are entitled to the maximum disaster unemployment assistance in the amount of $763 a week, beginning August 13, 2023, and ending on February 10, 2024. The thing is that you cannot get the regular unemployment insurance and do benefits concurrently. And people who are eligible are workers, business owners, and self-employed. And
so business owner could get DUA assistance. There won't be a separate program like there was under COVID, like PPP. Then they would be part of the DUA recipients.
Yes, Senator.
Okay. Has there been? No, we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves on that one. But back to the DUA. So if a person right now, tomorrow the program unveils, would they first have to apply for regular unemployment insurance claim or would they just simply fill out the DUA claim directly instead?
I mean, we're gonna tomorrow when we unveil it, we'll give more information or direction on how to do it. But they may have to do that, Senator.
Well, that's why I'm kind of letting people know. There was, some of the confusion that has been generated was people have started doing it, but of course they have to be rejected first, right? And they're getting rejected, and they're like, "I'm rejected. What now?" But but if you're going to be a DUA recipient, that's kind of how the process potentially may roll out, right? That you would have to do the regular claim first, get the rejection, and then apply for the DUA.
Yeah, that's correct, Senator. That's correct.
Okay, that's good to know. And so now, you said I guess, are there situations where regular unemployment insurance would apply instead of DUA, that they would get approved? Or does everybody automatically go through the rejection application portal?
Yeah, on our on our website, online application, it kind of prompts you to on the filing portal is at the huiclaims.hawaii.gov, and if you
that's really good. That's really good. So people can get explicit instructions there. Well, one thing I want to thank you, though, Director, for bringing people on the ground to the Hyatt Regency. That's critically important. The other thing that, what's good about you being there is FEMA is at the Hyatt already. You can go down there to apply for FEMA aid. You'll literally be a stone's throw away. So this could be a chance for people in West Maui who have transportation challenges, to say the least, to be able to get down and see them and then see you guys, correct? They could come in and get assistance with everything from your team that's going to be there?
Exactly, Senator. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank you for helping us get rooms and also space in the ballroom. We were able to secure hotel rooms for our U.S. staff, and like I said, they're going to be there starting today, and so we'll
good, excellent.
We'll have staff.
No, that was. I mean, I was very concerned, and that's putting it mildly, to know that you have a team here ready to assist right now, but they would be basically have no place to to be able to assist people. So I'm glad we got that fixed. Mahalo to everybody behind the scenes helped us with that one. But yeah, that you're going to be there a stone's throw away from FEMA at the Hyatt Regency, so people can come down and see your team. But they can also go online to your web portal. Can they also call you because of the internet issues still in West Maui?
Yes, they can call us, Senator. We have, in fact, we have several phone numbers they can call. I can give them to you. The area code 833-901-2272, and they can also call 808-762-5751. And let me give you all the numbers so that because we have a call center that is it's 7 days a week now. The other numbers are 833 area code 901-2275 or 808-762-5752.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm glad that you've got multiple numbers in the call center. The other thing, people though too have the option as well of be able to visit the local Maui Claims and Benefits office too, correct?
Yes. Our office we're trying to, like I said earlier, that we're trying to make it as easy. I mean,
yes,
we're
correct.
We're at the Maui College DRC, and we were also we're also going to be on this Saturday. I mean, we'll be participating in another, at the Lahaina Civic Center. I think it's from 11 a.m.
Yes. I wanted to give a shout out to Congresswoman Takuda for doing that. I told her, I'm like, people want we need your help in getting your awesome team and resources out to West Maui. So she, with the graciousness of the Kihei community, went ahead and canceled her event there and moved it to West Maui. And I'm glad you're going to be there in the Civic Center with her and FEMA. And I kind of joked, and she's going to be there, so FEMA will be on their best behavior.
No, I mean,
but that's a huge plus for people, and the Civic Center is a great location. I think the more of this we can do, and again, I thank you, Governor, and the team, the more it's going to make life easier on people who are still in traumatic shock. I mean, we don't even have the full recovery of victims yet. So this kind of thing is also emotionally supportive to people who are still in shock and grieving, having been able to begin to process that right now because of the scramble for survival.
Director, this is Tom Blackburn Rodriguez. Just one quick question. I know people have asked, do you need to make an appointment to go and meet with you at the hotel or at the
No.
Civic Center, or you can just walk in?
Yeah, walk in. Yeah, and like I said, if they can also, I mentioned there's other locations like at the Maui College, DRC. We also have our office in Wailuku at the State Building at 54 High Street. So that's another location because I know that they could be, could be long lines. So there's, we're at multiple locations.
And you do
So
have
they don't-
people suffering from the upcountry fires. So these locations that are in central Maui or at the college are a little more accessible to them. Is that right?
Yes.
A quick question, Director. Common question that has been coming in has been from people who don't live in, the ravaged zone of Lahaina on the west side. However, they had jobs at the west side hotels or a west side business or restaurant that burned down. Are they eligible? Can they too file for assistance or unemployment insurance?
Well, the requirements are, like I said, anybody who was impacted by the wildfires.
Okay.
Because the dual benefits are federally funded through FEMA.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so if they were impacted by the wildfires, they can be eligible.
Mm-hmm. So basically, they would have to make an impact statement then, potential to verification from you guys, right?
Yes, Senator. Because they need to, they need to file by September 25, 2023. They have 30 days to file,
Mm-hmm.
and then required documents, driver's license, passport, alien verification card, etc., social security number, and a copy of their most recent federal income tax form, or check stubs or documentation, that they have a history of self-employment.
Mm-hmm. So these are the documents people need to bring when they come with them, right?
Yes, Senator.
Okay, well, this is really good because we need to let people know that, because what happens if people lost their tax documents in the fire or they don't have them? Is there a way to get assistance? Is there going to be a way to, or do they have to go, or what happens to them? It's going to holding pattern, or?
Well, they can, we're partnered with login.gov, that's who can, claimants who file for unemployment, they can provide proof of ID through the login.gov or even through the post office. They can verify, their ID digitally on the login.gov. And, we're one of the first states that have this, because, we're trying to avoid what happened during the, pandemic. So we're trying to have this ID proofing.
No, and that's important because we want to avoid that again. You got people who, for various reasons, we want them to get the assistance. So having that process for them to be able to do it is critical, because you do have some people who are dependents who don't pay tax, or senior citizens who may not file them. So I hope that the department will be able to, I guess, use other things to show that they are indeed eligible.
Director,
because right now it's basically on the goodwill of the community hubs and others, and many of them are kind of relying on right now.
Director, I have used login.gov for different purposes, which is to verify my identity. They send you a password that's good for 10 minutes. You enter it in, and what they do is they verify that you are who you say you are, and then you can take that and say, look, I've been identified, and the feds know who I am, and it's been verified. But if you're like me, if you've ever lost your wallet, you know how difficult it is to get everything put back together. You'll be dealing with people who are suffering from various levels of trauma. What will you do if people don't have any documentation and don't have access to the internet? Will you have computers there that can go to login.gov? And how will you handle that situation? People who everything has been burned up.
Yeah, our staff will have computers there where they can go online to, on login.gov, or they can even go to, the post office, where they can proof, ID proof, because it's, we've, like a, and we're going to announce, when we announce it, we're going to have the instructions.
Yes, I think that would be we'll help you promote that through social media, others director, because people know in advance, then they can go to the post office first before they come see you, instead of going there and then I got to go to the post office and I got to come back. Of course, 40 other people are told that, so they're all going to the post office. So, we will definitely help you do that. I think the more people know what they need on the front end, it'll help to not only help them out, but also facilitate your team in being able to process more claims potentially.
No, I mean, I know it's, like I said, Senator, I mean, we're doing everything we can to help the people that were impacted by the wildfires.
Yes, and no, and for that, I know, Director, we're very grateful for that. I mean, the fact that we're being able to stand this up so quickly and everything, so we're very appreciative of that. We also understand that the more people can be prepared and the quicker they can be, I guess, go through, then your staff is able to interact with more people. See what I'm saying? And this helps get more aid out or quicker as well. So, I mean, that's going to be a good thing that you're there. It's a good thing you're next to FEMA. It's a great thing that you're going to be at the Civic Center. And that, there are people who still are with friends or relatives or have something on the other side of the island, so that they know that there's a Wailuku office that they can access, as well as the people who've been impacted who don't live, like we discussed earlier, the hotel and restaurant workers. So all of that outreach is critical, I think.
Senator, just one other question people may have. Once they apply and they're accepted and they had to go through the process, how soon before they get some money in their hands or a check?
Usually about a week after, about a week. Tom?
Take about a week for them to get something in the mail, or they can go pick up a check at
direct deposit, or direct deposit. Yeah.
Is that how you like to do it? You guys do direct deposit kind of thing, so that no paper gets lost.
Yeah, that would be even more so now, because if people they don't their homes are totally burnt down, so they may not have a a mailbox anymore. So that would be the more convenient way.
So one of the things that would be helpful if they did have information would be their bank account, like a checking account number, a routing number. Yes. So that's just one additional thing, maybe to remind people, if you do have those numbers somewhere, if you bring them in, then your benefit would be direct deposit and would come to you much quicker. Is that what you would prefer, Director, to do direct deposit?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And Director, is real quickly a question out there. Is it basically $760 per week per person, per family, or per eligible recipient and family?
Yeah, it's that's going to be the amount per person.
Per person. So if I had a family of 4, it would be $760 a week for each person of the family, or would you?
That's the maximum benefit.
I'm reason why I think it's important to bring up is the fact that in West Maui, before all this happened, the prices were hyperinflated to begin with in Maui generally. The stores that are opening up in the area, I mean, case in point, there was a half and half. One pint was $7. Gas is almost $5 something a gallon. So when you have kids, children, and given the high, the markets are opening up, the prices are still astronomical because you had all of the, wealthy visitors there who were able to pay that for the most part. So that's why it's good to hear that, family members know that they'll get that extra support for their kids, because that becomes challenging even before this happened, and still is challenging right now.
Yes.
Director, do you anticipate a significant number of restaurant, hotel workers, those in the hospitality industry? We've talked with people, they're talking about hundreds of layoffs because restaurants don't exist anymore. Are you, anticipating a large number of restaurant workers, waitresses, cooks, that kind of thing?
Yeah, that's. I think for the most part, that's what been the. We've heard about 8,100 initial claims, and most of the claims are from from the restaurant and hospitality industry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, exactly. And so and a lot of them, they got a double. A lot of them had a double whammy. They lost their house and their place where they worked and their business. And so it's a double whammy right there, But I mean, the director, long term, and I know we can't even begin to pivot in that direction, but potentially, Lahaina is going to have to rebuild this industry, but also the opportunity for economic diversification. There are also perhaps careers and opportunities that are available now, but maybe not in the visitor industry. Is there any kind of workforce development or any kind of programmatic look the department is going to look at insofar as trying to remap people to other career potentials or other occupations while we rebuild the industries out there?
Yeah, we just submitted our National Dislocated Worker Grant application yesterday, and and we're requesting the grant period for 2 years, and with basically just help with debris removal, demolition, repair, cleanup operation, and distribute essentials such as food, clothing. So we have that kind of help people also to help them get their minds off on the what happened.
Oh yeah, that's I mean you got people. That's a great point. You got people in the community who are going to stick it out to the bitter end, who want to help, and obviously with the protective gear. I'm going to emphasize that. They want to help clean up their community, and these are the people who are willing to stick it out. And the ones who are willing to stick it out, this is the core of what made Lahaina Town. These local families. So if we can provide a way for them to help fix our town and stay there and earn potentially good, decent money, that's a good thing. So I thank you for going after that grant for that.
And we just completed our Hawaii Disaster Recovery portal of our HireNet Hawaii website, and that will allow people to, get disaster recovery jobs, like the one that I mentioned for the National Dislocated Worker Grant, and they can register on that portal, and we can track, and because I think a lot of the people that were impacted, they want to help rebuild, and I think this is a good way, like you said.
Oh yeah. I mean, big time. I mean, sign me up too. Just make sure I have one of those masks that's all in suits.
Director, can you say that website one more time where people can go and register for the possibility of getting work to help bring Lahaina to clean all that up and everything? Give us that website again, please.
It's HireNet Hawaii.
HireNet Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then but for the unemployment, it's the huiclaims.hawaii.gov. Yeah.
Just briefly, Senator, if I could, before we do in the interview in about next 3 or 4 minutes, we do have listing of where can residents obtain your services at Maui Family Assistance Centers, and that's at the Hyatt Regency's Monarch Ballroom in Kaanapali. Also, Maui Claims and Benefits Office at 54 South High Street, room 201 in Wailuku. Online at labor.hawaii.gov, And for those with no internet access or with questions, you can call 833 901 2272. So there are a variety of entry points into this system, and the DUA program is going to be a real lifesaver, Director.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And thank you, Director, for your work on this, and again to the Governor for obviously that's what what gave the ability to scramble this thing up and set it up so quickly, like you guys have done. And it'll be great to see your team out here, and we look forward to helping our community. Thank you for everything you guys are doing.
No, thank you. Like I said, Senator, you've been out there since day one. So I cannot thank you enough because I love Maui. It's one of my favorite islands.
Director,
will you that's the thing that really, and talking to the Gov's chief of staff, I mean, that's a sentiment shared, I think, by many of you, which is, that, and it's because of your help and your heartfelt support that we've been able to do some, on the state side, we've been able to facilitate so many of these things that people need. So thank you, and thanks to the rest of the cabinet as well.
Thank you, Director. Thank you for your time, and obviously you've done a great reorganization job there, so congratulations on that. Now we're ready to deal with this disaster, and in a few minutes we're going to be talking with Javier, who's a businessman from West Maui. He'll be calling in, and we'll be talking to him about some of the needs of his, as he sees in West Maui, the impact on his and other business employees as well, and that will be Javier Becerra. He'll be calling in just a few minutes. So, Senator, that was a great interview. I have to tell you, my experience with unemployment has not been that friendly and welcoming. This gentleman has a whole different attitude about his job.
Well, it like you said, it's the heartfelt, emotional commitment from the state, from us, that developed during this thing that was really intensified at the Civic Center earlier. To where there's heartfelt support to do this and do it fast. I think the lessons of COVID have helped because of the fact that a lot of the issues that could potentially did pop up when it was PUA. So I think the fact that we have the lessons learned in that model also was a way why we were able to stand up DUA so quickly, and be able to tackle some of these issues that we discussed, that stymie payments or applications, or the people not being clear about the process. All of these things are being applied so that I believe they'll run a lot better and smoother than obviously PUA did when it first rolled out.
All I have to say is, back in the day, I would have loved to have met a bureaucrat like Jade, because I think he's doing a tremendous job, and I felt like really he was welcoming people for the services rather than kind of holding back. We do have Javier Becerra on the line, Senator. He owns a number of businesses in West Maui, Mala Tavern, which I've been to and enjoyed right there on the beach. And he's going to talk to us about the Maui fires, what West Maui needs now, and the impact on his and other businesses. Good morning, Javier.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You have on the line with you Senator Angus McKelvey. And I know you've got some concerns. You've been working with other restaurant owners. Can you tell us how the fires impacted you and other businesses that you're working with now?
Yes. First of all, my heart goes out to anybody that has lost someone. Businesses are very important. Homes are important, but losing a family member or a friend is the biggest devastation that anybody can possibly go through right now. So I just want to respect everybody that has lost somebody. But in terms of the businesses, our restaurant group has lost one of our restaurants called Down the Hatch. It's completely in ashes. It was at the Wharf Cinema Center across from the banyan tree. It's completely decimated. My business partner lost his home. Another business partner of mine lost his home in Waiakuli and on Ainakea. Two of our restaurants are still standing. One is called Mala Ocean Tavern, and the other one is called the Kind Restaurant. But unfortunately, we're unable to go over there. We have no access to them. We can't clean them. There's rotten food in all of those restaurants because we were not able to go back and take any of that stuff out of there, and the power has gone out. So there's a lot of situations that we're in right now that are very unknown for us. We don't know when we'll ever be able to open these restaurants. We have people leaving to go to the mainland. It's just a lot of unknown situations right now, and we're not receiving any word from our government. There's no phone calls to us. I call the mayor's office every day. I leave phone messages, and nobody returns my calls. Nobody calls me back. Nobody gives us any information as to what's going on. It's just extremely frustrating and difficult times for us to navigate as small business owners.
Well, Javier, Senator McKelvey here. I share your frustrations with the county in that. You and I could have a long conversation, but for the businesses from the state side, I kind of feel exactly what you're going through, although the loss you've suffered with your employees and your family is much more profound, as well as the community. But my number for you to have is 808-870-8644 to get you information that I know, questions you have from you and other business owners. The first question, obviously, that you brought up is one that I've been wrestling with, is what is the plan? And the lack of planning and communication of any planning is what is the plan for the search and rescue assessment and, to your point, reopening or at least accessibility for business owners to be able to access their properties, their restaurants. And so that is something I've been pushing with the electric company, General Logan, on my end to try to get some planning done. But again, it's been very difficult from the local apparatus to get information on what the plan is. Who's identifying the businesses? What order are they in? When is the assessment going to be done? What can they expect insofar as ingress and egress? So we're working on that, and I will communicate that to you through your cell, which I have here, as we find out information. But I understand that frustration majorly. And I guess the other thing businesses, you're probably concerned is about federal aid for businesses, correct? Has that been something that businesses are very anxious about at this point?
Yeah, we're getting our invoices are still coming in. This thing happened on the 8th. A lot of these businesses are net 30s, and so we have tons of invoices that are coming in. I just did payroll for my staff from the 1st to the 7th yesterday because we pay that typically on the 22nd. It ends on the 15th, and so we have tons of bills coming in, and I've tried to freeze all of our accounts and slowly start to pay things that I know that I have money for, but I'm just one of many businesses that are dealing with the same things. We have our landlords that are trying to collect rent still, and so we're not receiving any federal aid. Insurance, we have no idea how that's going to go. It is a long process, and we have received zero aid from our insurance. And hopefully insurance money is to rebuild the restaurant, not to pay off debt that's owed because of business interruption. And, they talk about FEMA. We've applied for FEMA. FEMA is one of the most confusing and convoluted things if you've never done it before. None of us have done it before.
Yes.
We've never been through anything
Well,
like
and
this.
FEMA doesn't, this is the thing, FEMA aid doesn't apply to small businesses. It's individual support or public infrastructure. The only assistance to business now from the federal government is through the SBA, and it's loans, not grants. So I talked about this with the governor, and we're trying to scramble to put together a PPP, a state PPP for businesses like we did during COVID, so that businesses would get direct grant aid instead of having to go loans. But it would have to come from the state side. So we're trying, to secure the funding for this, but we recognize right away, because like you said, so many businesses were like, okay, we need federal support, we need FEMA aid, and they're not getting the information, which is that we got to go ahead, and because of the federal limitations, we're going to go ahead and we're going to have to pursue that. But there's also other resources we're tracking down. When we're off the phone, Javier, I'll go ahead and send you a website link. We'll be posting up on our Facebook, which basically has all the different kinds of resource monies that businesses may be able to get to help out as well on that end. And any questions about those and those issues, we can triage them up to Congresswoman Takuda, but to get your answers. And again, I apologize from the state side for this. It's been frustrating for me too, but hopefully going forward, we can communicate with you and your employees and other businesses to better address your needs from our side. And again, I'm sorry, man. I know exactly what you're going through. It's been frustrating.
Javier, are you getting any assistance at all from the Small Business Administration?
There
No,
is right now, but it's only loans.
Yeah,
I believe it's 4%.
It's an unforgivable loan. Like, who's going to take out a loan right now? Who's going to take out a 4%
Exactly.
interest loan in the middle of a chaos, panic-driven, catastrophe? Like, the last thing I want is more debt. I have so much debt right now. Why would I take out a loan? Like, come on, SBA. Like, in my opinion, that's a slap in the face to all of us that lost our businesses. No one is going to take out a loan right now, because no one knows what the future is. No one's received any information. No one knows any timelines. Like, for the SBA to come out here and tell us that, like that to me is just it's ludicrous. SBA, you guys should come out here and give grants, or give unforgivable loans, help people, give people hope. Like, give people hope. Take some money that you guys have had for so long and actually help small businesses. Like, do what the name of your company says.
I think that the advocacy you're doing is really spot on, and Senator has spoken about trying to create a program that would have state money go directly to businesses rather than loans. Senator, you probably agree also. A loan at
No,
this
I
time.
think what Javier is saying is on point, and I think that straight, blunt information now is to get to Jill, so that she and the other people in congressional delegations can do exactly what he said. And so, I mean, this is the kind of hardcore, brutal reality we all need, and because this is the suffering that's going on. And so, but yeah, on our side, because we are the state and not the feds, I told the governor, I'm like, we got to set something up for businesses ASAP. So that's my, I guess, fervent focus, today and going forward is going to be that, in order to pull together the chamber and the other entities to say, okay, what kind of business resources out there can be made immediately? Let's publicize them, and better yet, let's get them into the hands of Javier and others so that they have the information directly themselves. So that's one of the Herculean tasks ahead of us.
When the pandemic happened, everything shut down and people were freaking out. And then that PPP program came out, and it wasn't great. The first one wasn't great, but it at least allowed us to pay our staff for 8 weeks, and that was huge. And it allowed us to reopen, which was even bigger. Then there was a second round of PPP money that came, and both of these were unforgivable loans. Forgivable loans that we were forgiven, and it allowed us to rebound, and we came back to life. Now, we don't even have a restaurant. Like, we have zero. We don't even have a restaurant to rebound from. And I have staff that are leaving. They're going back to the mainland, and there's just so much uncertainty right now. But if the government would step in right now, not tomorrow, not the next day, but right now, and step in and say, hey, guys, here's money to keep you on island, to keep you guys here for a couple of months while we figure out what we're going to do, while we give you guys timelines, updates, while y'all heal. If they did that, then we wouldn't have this mass exodus that's happening right now. We're losing really good people. I just lost my sous chef. I just lost almost 27 employees that are moving back to the mainland. What's going to happen to Maui's economy, to the west side, when we actually reopen and all of these people are gone? We're not going to have a workforce. I don't think
we're not
you
going
guys
to have
are
a lineup.
understanding that the
I mean, this is
impact
the
that
same
this
experience.
delay
This is
has
what I've been
on
saying,
small
Javier, too.
business.
Santa Cruz went through this, and they recognized this, and they gave direct money to get businesses and others to stay. And that's the dogged philosophy that I'm trying to beat on my end hard. We need to keep people here so that when we open, we have the workforce and the characters and the businesses that made Lahaina, like yours. Let's face it, Down the Hatch was iconic.
Senator, we have another guest coming up on the line. Javier, thank you so much for taking time and sharing with us and being very clear and concise. We want to thank you for the interview, and we want to wish you and your company and all your friends and family all the best. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yep,
Thank you, Tom. Thank you,
Javier, and
Senator.
I will reach out to you when we're POW here yourself, just so we can stay connected, and I can perhaps answer more questions, et cetera, et cetera. And again, my heartfelt sorrow for everything that you and your family and your employees are going through.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Senator.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Now we're waiting for a call to come in from the Halio Maui and talk about affordable housing and what they're doing, Cassandra Abdul. We do have a limitation on lines, so sometimes if you do call, it is busy, but just call back and we will take the call. And I think that call is now coming through, Senator.
Okay.
And Cassandra, are you on the line?
I am.
Thank you
Good morning.
thank you very much for working with us. We are at times technically challenged, but we still move on. We wanted to thank you for coming on to talk with us and to talk with Senator Angus McKelvey. Senator, you're on the line, is that correct?
I am here, yes.
Cassandra, could you tell us, first of all, what is Nahalio Maui and what has been the impact on your organization with the West Maui fires?
Nahalio Maui is a community land trust that makes affordable housing available to our workforce in perpetuity so that the properties never go to the market price for real estate in Maui County. We have a total of 48 homes scattered throughout Maui, and the fire has just been absolutely devastating, not just to Nahalio Maui and our homeowners, but the entire West End. We lost 1/3 of our homes to the fire, and our poor families, thank God they all survived, so they were very blessed in that respect. But they've lost everything, their forever home and the entire contents. Homes are just things that can be rebuilt and replaced, but there are many things in our homes that cannot. Our pictures of our babies, watching children grow up, but we have the memories, and we're very hopeful and want to support our families and everyone out there that has been affected by these fires.
Cassandra, how many homes did you lose in West Maui?
We are not entirely sure. It was originally reported that we lost all 15 of our homes. 12 of those homes, Nahalio Maui built between 2019 and 2020. One home was actually donated to us from the County of Maui, and then we lost 2 additional homes in the older Kuhia tract, which is between Kahoma and Lahaina Luna Road. And then we've heard that there may be one home standing, and of course we have no idea what kind of condition it's in and if it's even going to be livable.
Because you haven't been able to get out there and check on the ground because of the limitations on travel onto the west side, is that right?
Correct, and we don't know when we'll be able to get in there. Yeah, you're right. Thank you.
So, Cassandra, what are your plans to recover in the future? We have about 4 minutes left in the interview. What are your plans for recovery in the future, and what is your message to government leaders and others about the need for affordable housing on the west side?
Our plans are to help our families get up on their feet again, and we are going to help them however they can. They lost everything. We've provided for some insurance information so that they could make claims. We will basically help them every step of the way. And we are also pursuing independently grants from Maui United Way and other agencies that will be used to support our families. We're keeping them informed on where they can go for help, and both financial and in other ways. And when they're ready to rebuild, we're going to be there with them and help them every step of the way. We are also working on 17 homes that we will be building in central Maui with the county of Maui. And if I were to say anything, I would say there is hope for our families. I know there are many families that are just absolutely devastated, but there's always hope for the future, and we're going to focus on that. And I think that the council is doing the same thing. We all need to listen to the families that have had these devastating losses and help us come out on the other side of this.
Cassandra, we
terrible
appreciate you
tragedy.
calling in.
One thing I will put out there has been a concern from the community is that the fact that some of the temporary housing or housing is, to your point, is not in West Maui. It's in Kahului and Wailuku. And many of the people in the community want a way for the temporary housing to be able to stay on the west side. So hopefully going forward, as they identify siting, they'll look up, obviously at the area between Kapalua Airport and that area down there potentially, or other places on the west side. But that's been a concern, both with schooling of the keiki, being put in other schools, as well as, the temporary housing. This is it.
We have about 1 minute left. Cassandra, thank you very much for calling in. Senator, can you tell the audience how to connect with you for questions or concerns in the minute we have left?
Yes, and again, thank you, Cassandra, for everything. She's going to be an important partner in the rebuild for affordable housing in perpetuity going forward. For me, it's Sen McKelvey at capitaltol.hawaii, spelled out, .gov. My amazing staff is there to answer your emails. Also, our phone line, 808-586-6070. We've got extra staff support for all of the questions and concerns you have about the loss of the fire, federal aid, state resources, issues, et cetera, et cetera. Please reach out to us. We're posting updates all the time on Facebook. I'm also doing 1-minute interviews with the victims of the fire so we can record their memories while they're fresh, and that is at Sen McKelvey. Instagram, same handle, at Sen McKelvey.
Thank you very much, and aloha.